Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Burnt Rubber Racing Podcast. Coming to you here live on a Thursday evening, episode 30 of the show. Holy cow, Zach, where does time go? I should say joining me as always is Zach McAdoo. I'd ask how you're doing, Zach, but I know it's kind of been a tough week for you. Florida got upset by Kentucky and the Wildcats fans stormed the field, and the Yankees lost the wild card game. So I know you're kind of struggling a little bit, but maybe I can help bring you some joy. Maybe Burnt Rubber Racing can help bring you some joy here as we do our weekly show together. But other than those losses for your teams, you doing all right over there?
Yeah, you want to talk about Saturday? My four college teams went 0-4, so it sucked that day. But
you have four college teams.
That four that I follow. There's obviously UB because we went there, Florida, Boise State because of the blue turf, and TCU. Just in the random college I've been.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was on Nevada as a touchdown underdog in that Boise State game, so you're welcome. Carson Strong's the real deal. I'll be coming back with BYU this week too, but we're not here talking college football, folks. We are here to talk racing. Zach, as we get set to dive into these Talladega recaps here, I don't know, kind of a bit of a disappointing weekend, I would say, at Talladega. A lot of rain. Felt like a bit of a washout as the Cup Series race got postponed from Sunday to Monday, and then they only ran really around half the distance of the actual 500 miles they were supposed to run in the Elliott 500. Rain also cut the Xfinity Series race short. Rain/darkness, whatever you want to do in there on Saturday. So a lot of bad weather, but overall, it was nice to see the cars and the trucks get back out there and do some super speedway racing. Anything you want to shout out before we jump into the results and what went down in Alabama last weekend?
No, I think we should just get right into it because I know there's some people that didn't like the results, and I'm here to clear it up.
All righty, so jumping in, we'll start with the Cup Series this week. I think we went the other way around last week, but we'll get back on schedule here coming out of Talladega.
2 weeks. It was a one-time thing. We went Trucks Xfinity Cup, and you bring it up 2 weeks after the fact we did it.
Was it 2 weeks ago? I don't know.
It was Bristol,
dude. All the weeks blend together here. Give me a break. Cup Series at Talladega, the Elliott 500. Like I say, they didn't run the full distance, but a first-time winner, a non-playoff driver. This is only the second time since the current playoff format that a non-playoff driver has won a race that didn't qualify for the playoffs at all. I should clarify that.
NBC says the first.
No, this is the second.
Who's the other one?
I think it was Talladega a few years ago, right?
Who?
Was it the first one?
Yeah, NBC says the first one. I can't think it back. I don't think anyone
Oh, we'll have to.
Because we talked about this earlier, and neither one of us could figure it out.
Maybe it's the second one counting Kyle Busch after he was out. Maybe I screwed up my facts.
Yes, I think you did.
So I'm off to a great start. Bubba Wallace gets the win. First career Cup Series win. I guess he's the first driver to not qualify for the playoffs at all that won a playoff race. There we go. We've had drivers be eliminated and then win a race after they were eliminated. But huge stuff for Bubba Wallace. Huge stuff for 2311 Racing, the team co-owned by Michael Jordan and Denny Hamlin. I know it was rain shortened, so you kind of have that asterisk with it. But still, you got to be excited if you are this group and just to see this team make progress, right?
I mean, yeah, but he really did say asterisks. I mean, a win's a win, no matter how you slice it, dice it, deal it. It doesn't matter. He was in front when the caution was called. Rain came, which, by the way, even if they were able to get the track fully dried 20 minutes after they called it, it was pouring again, so they wouldn't have mattered anyways. You have to love the emotion that Bubba showed after he got after they called the race. I mean, it was just incredible. I remember immediately I was like, Henry, put this in the recap because it needed to be in there. But yeah, as a guy who's met Bubba Wallace twice, I just had to look at my picture for some reason. One of the nicest guys in the garage. this is well deserved, especially at Talladega when we go back to last year with what happened. It wasn't what everyone thought. That's beside the point. But like just seeing everything come together last year here, it was incredible. This is also his home track, so all that meshes into this, and I'm sure it was sweet emotion for him.
Yeah, with it being his home track and his first career win, a long time coming there for sure. Great stuff for this 23XI racing team as they add Kurt Busch into the fray next season. There's a bright future ahead. And we talked about it last week, right? Bubba Wallace knows how to run on these restrictor plate, these super speedway races. We were looking to avoid him in DFS just because of the high price. We felt like it was a little bit too high as Zach tries to hide here a week later. But, you know, maybe that changes if they run the full thing too. Who knows? So I'm not gonna kill you there for that pick. And the price was a little bit high, but maybe looking back on it now too, that high price was warranted, right? Like he finished runner-up in the Coke Zero Sugar 400 to end the regular season. He's a guy to watch out for on the super speedways going forward. That is for sure, and a huge win that he will never forget here from this past weekend. Speaking of guys to watch out for on the super speedway, Zach, look at who finished right behind Bubba Wallace in this Raiden shortened Yellowwood 500. Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano. Team Penske running right up front like we expected. Huge stuff for them considering the playoff cut line and the standings that really shaped up. It took quite a bit of a turn, if you have to ask me, after this race. And now we head into the Roval, and really all three Team Penske Fords. I don't know that we would have thought this a few weeks ago, or definitely not back when the playoffs started, given how Fords run all year, but all three of those Penske drivers are sitting pretty.
Yeah, I mean, you have Joey, who is the top guy without a win, that's sitting at plus 21. And you have Brad. I think Brad, he's not plus, no, Elliott's plus 8. And I forget is it Kyle Busch plus 9? So, yeah, you have the other two in Blaney and Keselowski who are sitting plus double digits at a track where all three of them are, like, at least decent at. You have Blaney who won the first iteration of this race. So, I think you can make a case as long as everything goes right, equipment holds up, that all three of them should be able to move on to the round of 8.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Joey Logano, just referencing those standings, he's third. 20 points back from the top now is all, but he's 21 to the good of the cut line as of now. Brad K, a whole 20 points up, and Ryan Blaney, even though he didn't have quite the same Talladega finish, he is still a full 15 points ahead of the cut line. So definitely a bit of a surprise there. Team Penske, you know, we talked about Joe Gibbs. A lot of the first round tracks really kind of set up well for them, right? This second round, Penske using the beast that is Talladega to their advantage. They run better than anyone else here, and they throw down some solid runs again. Rounding out the top 5, Kurt Busch and Christopher Bell. Christopher Bell needed that finish. Unfortunately, he is still a whole 28 points below the playoff cut line. It's going to be a massive uphill battle for him at the Charlotte ROVAL this week. Chris Buescher, Denny Hamlin, Kevin Harvick, Eric Jones, Anthony Alfredo, rounding out the top 10 from this past weekend. Anyone you want to shout out in there? I feel like I just, got to get your thoughts at least on Anthony Alfredo with anyone else you wanted to discuss too, because, man, that's got to be it. That's definitely a career best for him, right? I think his two best finishes this year now have come at Talladega because he was 12th, I believe, in the spring.
Yeah, Anthony Alfredo, that was his first career top 10, so this is obviously going to be his best finish. But yeah, for a guy who usually is wrecking out of these races, amazing that he gets up there, times it right where he gets himself a top 10 at the end of the race. Granted, we starting with laps, probably like he may or may not increase or decrease, but I mean, he finished. That's all that matters.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. So here's my question for you. Knowing that his two best finishes this season came at Talladega, do you think eventually, I don't know if we want to say next year, first year in the next gen car. We've dogged Anthony Alfredo a lot on this show, and I think rightfully so. It's been kind of a rough rookie year. Still a bit of a question mark how he got that front row motorsports ride over some other drivers down in the lower series. I think it's fair to ask, but is he going to become another Michael McDowell, his teammate, on these super speedways? Knowing that he ran well, both Talladega races, I think you have to kind of throw out the second Daytona race just because of the mechanical issue they had right off the jump, and that just set them behind the 8 ball. Like, they started the race and they were out of the pack. So, and I honestly, I can't remember his Daytona 500 result, but that was his first Cup Series race. So I don't know. Do you think we're going to see a little bit of a Michael McDowell light coming out of the front row camp here in Alfredo?
I wouldn't say next year. Maybe if he stays, which I don't know if how long he's under contract for there, but if he stays, it could be another 2-3 years. If it all goes to plan, really, he still needs to develop. He's still very young, so who knows?
All right, we'll have to see where that goes. But that's talking about next year and beyond. Back to the current matter at hand, which is this year's NASCAR Cup Series playoffs. We were talking about the point standing, Zach. Because Bubba Wallace won at Talladega, Denny Hamlin's still the only driver who is definitely clinched his spot into the round of 8. We talked about the Penske boys sitting pretty. Kyle Larson also sitting in a great position right now, second in the points. Martin Truex Jr., 5th in the points. And then we got Ryan Blaney, like we said, 15 points ahead of the cut line. Chase Elliott and Kyle Busch are both 9 points to the good. And the driver closest to them, 9 points back, is Kevin Harvick, who had that top 10 run at Talladega. A bit of an impressive showing for him, just given how his super speedway runs have gone in recent years as his career has advanced. He's still in this thing, though. Single-digit deficit, definitely can make that up. Christopher Bell behind him. Like we said, he's 28 below. Do I have that number right? 28, yep. And then you got William Byron and Alex Bowman rounding out the 12 drivers remaining, and they're 44 and 52 points back. You know, I said William Byron had a shot to get in on points at Bristol when we went to the last race of the first round. And
no, he's absolutely in a must-win. Him and Bowman
he's definitely in a must-win mode this time. So is Alex Bowman. It really feels like Christopher Bell is as well, just because, you know, you don't see a lot of guys tend to not finish a road course race. It takes a lot to wreck out of one of these things. I don't know that Bell's going to be able to. It's going to be tough to do that on points. But he did win the Daytona road course race. I don't know. In terms of these four, do you give Bowman or Byron a shot to win, number one? Number two, how do you feel about Kevin Harvick sitting 9 points below, knowing that one of the drivers he's trying to catch is Chase Elliott? And number three, where does Christopher Bell kind of fall into this whole argument for you? Can he potentially sneak his way in on points, or is this must win?
I said Byron at minus 17 last round was a must win. You have Bell sitting at minus 28. In this round, he has to be the must win. And I feel that Bell, Bowman, and Byron, they're all done because I don't see any one of those three winning. Their championship hopes are going to end right here. Someone's going to clip this, and sure enough, one of three are going to win, and I won't be memed. But then with Harvick, this one's going to hurt because I don't see, unless something happens where he's trying to just he's the only one getting stage points and everyone else pits early, like that little strategy-wise where he goes and wins two stages in a row. That's 20 points there. I don't see how he can point his way in and trying to catch Chase Elliott and Kyle Busch unless someone has a mechanical problem.
So I guess what I'm sensing out of you is the 8 drivers above the cut line right now, you expect to also be the same 8 who emerge from the Charlotte ROVAL above the cut line. So
Yes.
you're going to send your boy Kevin Harvick packing right here.
Yeah, unfortunately. But then we could just torture
Okay.
Chase Elliott the rest of the way.
Chase Elliott and Kevin Harvick. First of all, Chase Elliott's one of the guys he's chasing in the standings, right? Second of all, they're literally starting on the same row this week. Like, it just never gets old. Like, I feel like they can't get away from each other ever since Bristol now. They're matched up in the betting odds the past couple of weeks. Like, it's great. Speaking of playoffs and standings, we also have to talk about what went down in the playoff races for the Xfinity and Truck Series last weekend at Talladega. Like I said, the Xfinity Series didn't quite make their full distance either due to darkness, and it turned out to have another first-time winner, Brandon Brown, driving the number 68. Started this race team with his dad. They've built this thing from the ground up. Brandon Brown goes to victory lane at Talladega Superspeedway. I mean, talk about incredible finishes, incredible stories. 3 first-time winners this week, as we'll get to in the Truck Series. We had another one as well. But this one right up there with Bubba Wallace in terms of just improbability. And, I mean, Brandon Brown was hyped. This has become a whole trending sensation. Talk me through it. What did you see in Saturday's race? This one was a good one. We had a little bit of everything, a couple big wrecks, a whole lot of aggressive racing even early on. Like stage 1, these guys were sending it. Fun to watch.
I mean, yeah, it's Talladega. What else do you expect here? But yeah, I really don't remember much. I just remember the ending and how at first I was one of those people that's like that. I don't like how this ended because I feel like if they're going to call for darkness, they should go back to the video. But then again, with Steve O'Donnell, I'm glad he cleared this up. He's like, we were planning to go back green. It's if you call it if you call a caution during a rain delay, you're not going to go back if they call the race. They're not going to go back and go look at video. You're going to look at the timing lines like they were. So respect to Steve O'Donnell for speaking out and explaining what happened there at the end, and congrats to Brandon Brown because now we have a new champ.
Yeah, absolutely. It was amazing stuff there. Like I said, I was kind of with you. I was a little confused at first. Like they're saying, okay, if we're going to end the race, it's going to be based on camera, but then they weren't going to end the race, so they were resetting the field, re-racking the field for a restart based on the loop. Drive a couple laps into caution. Okay, now we're ending the race. So wouldn't that mean it ends on the camera? But once that confusion went away, it was great to see Brandon Brown emerge victorious. Rounding out your top 5, Brandon Jones, Justin Allgaier, Daniel Hemrick, and Jordan Anderson driving his own car, the number 31. We've seen Tyler Reddick in that car a couple times this year, so a bit of another name sneaking into that top 5 there. Crazy stuff from the Xfinity Series. And Zach, Brandon Brown's also not in the playoffs. So that means each of the first 2 Xfinity Series playoff races have been won by non-playoff drivers, with Josh Berry winning at Las Vegas last week. So therefore, nobody has officially clinched their spot into the round of 8. However, things are looking a little bit dicey as we turn our attention over to the standings here for a couple of drivers. Didn't necessarily get any better for them at Talladega after rough starts out in Sin City. So, of course, Austin Cindric sitting pretty. He's the points leader coming out of Talladega. AJ Allmendinger was right up there with him. Of course, the regular season champion, AJ Allmendinger, but he wrecked out of this one early. So he's now 4th in the points, 44 behind Cindric, but still well ahead of the cut line and obviously going to a place in the Roval where he should be just fine. Justin Allgaier, Daniel Hemrick sit 2nd and 3rd. Justin Haley is behind his colleague teammate in Allmendinger in 5th. Brandon Jones off that runner-up finish improves his positioning. Noah Gragson, man, tough luck because he was fast and unfortunately just got caught up in a melee.
He hit that wall a ton, and it just goes to show you how we've come as safety in NASCAR.
Oh my God!
you go back and look at it. You can see the wall bend when he hits it. Makes it just. It was a scary wreck, and glad to see Noah okay after that one.
Yeah, it wasn't him. It was the first wreck. And I'm trying to think of who it was because I don't believe it was one of the bigger car wrecks. It might have even been in the truck race. There was a wreck this past weekend where they actually had to go out and fix the wall because the impact was so hard. And I can't remember who that was who made that hit. There were cars going all over the place, I feel like, in every single race. But at any rate, like you say, good to see Gregson. He's okay. He's still on the right side of the playoff cut line after those 2 late season wins, definitely helping him out there. Harrison Burton is the last driver to the good right now, 12 points. 8 points above the cut line. Jeb Burton now the first one below it. So he's 8 points back of Harrison Burton, and he improved his positioning dramatically, getting those stage points at Talladega. Myatt Snyder, Riley Herbst, Jeremy Clements, they're going to have some work to do, particularly the last two. Pretty much a must win, I would say, for them. Myatt Snyder is, if I could do some quick math here, 24 points back of Harrison Burton. So, I mean, you said Byron's must win at 17, so I guess Myatt Snyder's a must win for you too. I'm not sure I see Myatt Snyder getting a ton of stage points, but yeah, so I guess I'd go must win there as well. Jeb Burton, kind of the one right now to me who is below it, who feels like he can point his way in. But break down these Xfinity Series standings and what you perhaps foresee happening this week in Charlotte.
Herbst, Clements are done. I don't see either one of them climbing. Myatt Snyder, I don't think, like you said, I think he's got to win, and I don't see that happening. Jeb Burton, I think he can do it because I feel like he's going to get a lot of help from his teammate and AJ Allmendinger when it comes to setup wise, and I think those teams are going to help each other out. But who falls out? I think it's going to be Harrison Burton. I don't think Harrison is going to be able to keep his spot. I think Noah is going to be able to get the points like he got last year in helping him save his season.
So you got Jeb Burton leapfrogging Harrison Burton. So one switch there.
Yeah.
All right. I think I'm with you. It's hard not to ride with colleague racing. It's just a bias, I think, for me, an internal bias. One more race to talk about from Talladega. Tate Fogelman winning the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series race Saturday afternoon at the Super Speedway. All kinds of action in this one as well. This one was actually a calm race at the beginning, and then last stage things picked up right down to the finish line on the final lap as they were coming across. I know you weren't thrilled about the move Fogelman had to pull off to win this race. I don't know. Do you have any reactions you want to share now? I mean, you're going for the win. So is it that bad, or are we? I don't know. Give me your thoughts.
Before we get to the Tate Fogelman stuff, let's go back in the race a little bit to, I think it was was it the first big one, or was there another one? Because I only remember one.
2 big ones.
Well, whatever one had Jennifer Jo Cobb.
There was one big one. Yeah, the 19 truck one where Jennifer Jo Cobb just bombed right in.
What are you doing? You pretty much just said, let me wreck this truck too. We're not having a big enough demolition derby. Let's just full speed it right in there and hope for the best. Which you're turning down into where all the trucks are. I mean, it just hurt my head. I don't understand. Like,
she almost drove a cup race at Talladega for Rick Ware Racing back in the spring, Zach. Remember that?
Oh, I'm glad you brought that up. Like, this is why you got rejected. Right here. This stuff.
Yep. I saw her go flying in, and I was like, oh my goodness. My first reaction was like, could she not see? But there were trucks closer to her who slowed up and like, I don't get it. I don't get it either.
I was watching at a bar. I couldn't hear. I didn't have anything to hear with, and I had to I asked my friends, like, who the hell just drove full speed right into that wreck? And they go, Jennifer Jo Cobb. Like, that makes sense. But I mean, just what the hell? And then, okay, let's get now into the Tate Fogelman business.
Okay.
I am not a fan of this, the way he did it. I understand this is probably the only time he's probably going to have a chance to win a race. I shouldn't say that, but this is his only opportunity at tracks like this to win a race. That's better. So he's got to take every opportunity. I'm still not a fan because you wreck a guy on purpose at 100, 170, 180 miles an hour. Who knows what's going to happen there? I mean, you saw Kyle Busch 6 years ago break his leg. It wasn't on purpose, but like he broke his leg in a wreck like this. And so I'm just not a fan of turning people on purpose here. I mean, I get it's the last lap. I get you're not letting off, but you don't turn up. The same reason why people don't like Keselowski. Keselowski turned up and wrecked Carl. What? Oh, that's 12 years ago. We're old. That 12 years ago in 2009, they sent Carl into the catch fence, which how the hell Carl didn't have anything more wrong with him there was good. And the one thing I will give Tate is that he spun him down, and this really wasn't by design. I think it's just it happened this way. Is that Tate spun him into where there's more runoff, wasn't into the wall, intentionally into the wall. It was where there was runoff. There's a lot of space where he can brake and stop. If it had to be somewhere, it's probably best there than into the outside wall.
Yeah, no, I definitely hear all your thoughts, and I'm glad Nemechek's truck went down that way instead of going into the wall for sure. At the same time, I get it from Fogelman's perspective too, where he's just, you want to win the race. You're going for broke. It's the last lap. I get both sides of it. You don't want to see someone get wrecked intentionally. I think at the end of the day, it just, it kind of just chalked up to a racing deal for me. It's the last lap at Talladega. It doesn't mean you have to like it. What do you want to say?
I was going to say, because people know I'm a Harvick fan, didn't Harvick do it last year at Martinsville? Yeah, I didn't like that either. He should have dive bombed Kyle going into the turn. He hit him in the wrong spot, and that's what cost him his spot in the playoffs. If he hits him going into the turn, shoves Kyle up the track, he's got a better chance of taking that spot away than what he did.
Right. Yeah. No, I totally hear you. So back to the race here, rounding out the top five, Tyler Hill, another surprise name there in second. Then Todd Gill in third. John Hunter Nemechek does get fourth. Ryan Truex comes in fifth. Of course, so many trucks got knocked out of this race. The massive big one, 19 trucks involved in that one. There will only be 18 until Jennifer Jo Cobb dive bombed in there like we discussed. And yeah, so there were 19 in that one. There was another one that had like 9 or 10, I think, in the middle of stage three, I'm sorry. So it was just a chaotic Truck Series race. After all of that chaos, Zach, we emerge with interesting little battle here in terms of the Truck Series standings as we head to Martinsville. They're going to have a couple weeks off before they run their final race in the round of 8. But John Hunter Nemechek, Ben Rhodes, they are sitting pretty as of now on points. They are pretty much locked into the championship 4 at this point. Matt Crafton, Sheldon Creed. They are the two drivers who do have a little bit to worry about here ahead of Martinsville. Matt Crafton currently just 10 points to the good. Sheldon Creed, 5 points to the good. Stuart Friesen is the man trying to catch them both. And then Chandler Smith, Carson Hocevar, and Zane Smith. They are all a long ways back. Definitely going to be a must-win for them. Must-win situation at Martinsville. Stuart Friesen, pretty much the only guy who can do it on points here. That's the other thing that came out of this race, too. I'm sure, I don't know if you were watching it and you didn't have the audio, how much you were able to follow along with that. But Matt Crafton not too happy with how John Hunter Nemechek was racing. So maybe John Hunter Nemechek deserved what he got on the last lap. I don't know. But, yeah, and then Matt Crafton gave him a nice little slap on the ass during his post-race interview. Going to be curious to see how those two interact, shall we say, going forward at Martinsville, where there's always plenty of beating and banging. John Hunter Nemechek called Matt Crafton an old man after that slap on the ass. So could be a little fun there, a little Truck Series drama. But talk to me about these point standings. Do you think Western New York's own Stuart Friesen can get this job done and go race for a championship at Phoenix? Because I sure hope so.
I don't. I'd rather have.
It's going to be tough, but
I'd rather have Creed in there, and I think Creed Creed is going to be the guy. We've talked about this earlier. He's probably going to be him and JHN are the guys to beat going to Phoenix, and I still believe that. I think even after what was it, Vegas, Creed had trouble. Creed's not going to have any trouble coming to Martinsville trying to clinch his spot. I think Crafton should be worried though more than Creed because Crafton has had that consistency. He hasn't had the wins or any of that momentum, but he still sits 10 points above Friesen right now. So, I mean, one false move, and this could go for Creed too. One false move by either one of them, and they're out. I think it's obvious Smith, Hulsvar, and Smith should have seen who it was coming first. But I think all three of them are win or go home at this point.
Yeah, definitely. Friesen gets in there at the expense of Matt Crafton. Like you said, who you think is probably more likely to drop out than Sheldon Creed. You'd have 4 different teams going for the championship at Phoenix, so that would be kind of cool to see. But yeah, it'll be interesting for sure. I think the thing that really stands out to me from this round, though, is just the somewhat fall from grace for Sheldon Creed. You know, as much as we just like him, he dominated that first round, and he has had tough luck here these first 2 races in round 2. So we'll see if he can survive, because if you were the one to tell me he's the guy 5 points over the cut line going into the final elimination race before the championship 4 after the first round he had, I would have laughed in your face. And yet here we are. So it should be a good one in a few weeks in the Truck Series. But, you know, we got some time before we get to that. Speaking of getting to, Zach, what do we got in the world of news and notes as far as motorsports this week? Got anything good?
All right. Well, this is really nothing, but I figured we need some news and notes. NBC will show the last 3 races of the NASCAR Cup Series season on Peacock. That would be Texas, Martinsville, Phoenix, in that order. So if you don't have cable, you can watch races on Peacock. There you go.
I thought they were going exclusively to Peacock, and I got worried, but okay.
No, I said if you read our rundown, I said in addition to TV.
Well, we've already established on past episodes I usually don't read that. So,
do you know how to read, son? Don't finish that line. Okay, but do you know where that's from? Do you know what that line is?
Just keep going. Just keep going.
I'll skip to the next one. 2311 has their second charter for Kurt Busch. We don't know where it's coming from, but they have announced they do have a second charter for Kurt Busch. There's some speculation that it came from Front Row Motorsports, Front Row Racing. So keep an eye out for that, where they announce where it came from. But then last sad news, actually no, I'll bring up this one instead. Jimmy Johnson, he said he wants to run the Indy 500.
He's going to run the Indy 500.
There's no
want. Did you see that he was attending Indy 500 rookie orientation this week?
Chandra has the last say in this, just to let you know. I feel like his wife is going to tell him.
He's going to run the Indianapolis 500 next year. Even if he doesn't run any other ovals, he might not do Iowa. He might not do Worldwide Technology. He's going to run the Indy 500. You heard it here first. I'm excited to see Romain Grosjean run it as well, because I think Romain Grosjean has a very bright future in IndyCar. And yeah, they were at the rookie orientation this week, but it got interrupted by rain. So, you know, there was just some interviews between them, and there wasn't as much to go off of as I was hoping, because, you know, I feel like that's just kind of a theme of this past week in racing is rain. But
all right, side note, because
he's going to run the Indy 500. Jimmy Johnson will be there.
Side note, because I do need to say this. Look at where Romain Grosjean came from in the past year. That wreck scared the hell out of me last year, and and I don't know, you've seen it, right, with the F1 wreck at Bahrain. I mean, that honestly brought tears to my eyes, seeing a wreck that bad. I didn't even know he was still alive. If not for the halo, he's dead. And we've said that multiple times the past 2 years, probably more than we should say. But yeah, for anyone who hates the halo, you're just an idiot at this point. There's the opener right there, by the way. But seeing where he has come from,
I think it's going to be Jennifer Jo Cobb, but
either way, just seeing where he's come from in the past year. He lost his ride at Haas. He has that wreck. He signs with Wickford Racing, gets to pull it, the Indy GP, and I mean, it's just incredible. He had a great run this year. I can't wait to see him going forward in the IndyCar.
Can't either. Right there with you.
Anyways, other sad news we have. Michael Annett will be retiring at the end of the year. It makes sense, unfortunately. I feel like his injury is just going to linger too long. And this is, I think, pretty much, I think I said this like 2 months ago, where I didn't think he was going to run more than this year because I thought this injury was career ending. And it looks like it is. We've said that he probably should have run better, but I mean, it's still going to suck seeing him out of the car due to this reason.
Yeah, not the way you want to see anyone have to leave the sport. So definitely unfortunate. I wish him all the best. I know Zach does too. And, maybe he can stay involved with NASCAR or with the sport somehow. And we'll see where that goes for him. Injuries suck. As someone who's had several of them back in my athlete days, I don't know, I'm like a fringe athlete, I guess, at this point, but they're not fun. Was there anything else as far as headlines from the week that you wanted to touch on, or should we get set to go to the Roval?
We're running long. We need to go to the Roval.
All right. Let's do this. The Bank of America Roval 400. This will be the 4th year that this race has been run on the Charlotte Motor Speedway road course. Now, this race originally came, it started all the way back in 1960, but it was run on the oval every year up until 2018 when NASCAR made the decision to move it to the road course, and that's where it's been ever since. Just to add another wrinkle into the NASCAR playoffs format. Got to be good on the road courses if you want to advance. And the fact that this is a cutoff race only heightens the tension, shall we say. We got Kevin Harvick and Chase Elliott battling for points. Can anyone beat Chase Elliott in this race? Zach, he's won the last 2. But what else can you tell us about the Charlotte Motor Speedway road course, the Roval, because it is road and it runs on the oval?
Yeah. So you kind of took my intro I had here. It started in 2018.
Oh, sorry. You can still do it.
They actually changed the layout because do I pull up the track map here and just show everyone? I mean, might as well.
Sure, go for it.
Let's go here. Screen 1. I don't know if it's showing mine. Oh, there we go. There it is. You have this is start-finish line, turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, turn 4. On the original layout, it actually had a little swoopy swoop here and swoopy swoop here, and then you just come back out here this way, and then you follow the rest of the track like it is. This was added late. They decided to add this because I think they said there was going to be too much speed coming into turn 1 for how sharp a turn it is. So they was like, oh, we'll have this and have them slow it down. So yeah, that's our basic rundown here. How do I stop sharing? That's our basic rundown of the Roval. 17 turns. I don't remember how. I think it's like 3.23. If I'm correct, it's like 3.23. I don't remember. I should have looked this up earlier. Sorry. But yeah.
You're looking for a lap length?
2.28 mile. Where did it come 3?
2.88, right? Or is it 2.28? 2.28. Okay. I thought it was 2, but I wasn't sure exactly what you were looking for there for a second. I guess I'm spacing out. But yeah, like you said in the diagram there, which kind of shows it full circle, 17 turns on this bad boy.
It's not fun to run a NASCAR heat, I can tell you that.
Yeah, no, not at all. This one's a different beast. And the races have been entertaining there these past couple of years. So, we'll see what it brings out of drivers and especially the playoff contenders here this weekend. Zach, I dug up some driver stats. I'm sure you have too throughout the week as we prepare to transition into a bit of a handicap of this race. But, I mean, I said it before you kind of gave your track overview there. Chase Elliott, the 2-time defending Bank of America Roval 400 champion. I mean, who else, right? He's the road course king of the NASCAR Cup Series at this point.
But he doesn't have the shortest. He doesn't have the best average finish at this track.
Who does?
Jamie McMurray. He has one start and finished second, so he's got a 2.0 average finish to chase out. It's 2.7.
I see what you did there. Well, among full-time drivers and those drivers who are in Sunday's race, I know Zach had to get a little dig in at Chase Elliott there. That's kind of just what we do on the show anymore, it seems like. Among drivers who are in Sunday's race, Chase Elliott does have the best average finish, 2.7. He finished 6th in the first race and, of course, winning the last two. Behind him is Hendrick Motorsports teammate Alex Bowman at 4.7. And Ryan Blaney, who is the only other Cup Series driver to win on the Roval course at Charlotte Motor Speedway. He won the first ever Roval 400 in 2018, also with an average finish of 4.7, finishes of 8th and 5th in the last 2 years. AJ Allmendinger is in Sunday's race, Zach. He's only run this once before, but he finished 7th. Of course, obviously, Allmendinger road course ringer speaks for itself. How about Joey Logano? 3 top 10s in 3 races, 2 tenths, and a runner-up last year, 7.3. Kevin Harvick has actually been impressive here. Are you sure you don't want to be confident about him running down the points in the standings there to advance in the playoffs? I don't know. 7.7 average finish, 9th, 3rd, 11th. Cole Custer was 9th here last year. Martin Truex Jr., another solid road course racer, 14th, 7th, and 7th. Average finish at 9.3. And Kurt Busch, 9.7, rounds out the drivers with a top 10 average finish in the first 3 races on the Roval. What did you want to say about Harvick before I throw some general road course stats out there?
Okay, there's 2 things I want to we'll go with Harvick. There's a story I want to tell you. But with Harvick, if he was defending a playoff spot, I would say yes, he should be fine. But the fact he's got to earn points on top of whoever he's racing against there, I don't see it happening. But here's a cautionary tale. 2018, back then I would always have a Monster. I'd drink a Monster because I was the title sponsor for the Cup Series. And I had finished it. And I was watching. It is. I remember I was wishing Jimmy would catch Martin. He was catching him. And then Jimmy spins. I was like, son of a bitch. I walked out of the room. I did not see Jimmy make contact with Martin Truex Jr. I come back into the room. I see Blaney winning. I was like, what the hell just happened? Like, what did I miss? I shit you not. That's an honest to God true story. I had to look up on my phone and see what happened because I was confused coming back. But I wasn't happy with Steve Martin Truex Jr. win, and it kind of hurt.
Remember, I kind of like Martin Truex Jr., right? Like, were you telling us that story? So, just to take a shot at me, almost in a little way.
No, it's a cautionary tale for our viewers or listeners because don't walk out of the room too early because then you'll be a not so bright guy like me.
Yeah, you never leave a sporting event early, especially on a race like this. And to your point there, that story's point. And I'm sure you would say this overall, the Roval has been an exciting track, like here these first 3 years. So I'm excited to see him go at it. And I'm not a huge road course fan.
As much as I hate to say, go back and look at 2019 when Chase Elliott put himself in the barriers and then went on to win the race.
Yeah. I'll just leave it at that.
That is not a face I want to look at too much longer. Oh my God.
Oh, speaking of Chase Elliott, though, Zach, road courses, all road course races since the start of the 2018 NASCAR season, he has the best average finish there, too. 5.93, 7 wins, 11 top 5s in 14 starts. His driver rating, on average, a ridiculous 124.0. This is just not a good week for you. Seems you're not a big Chase Elliott guy. I don't know what else to tell you. The dude's that good on road courses. Martin Truex Jr., average finish of 8.14 in those 14 road course races over the last 3 years. 2 wins, 7 top 5s, average finish of 112.7. The other driver with an average driver rating of greater than 100 is Kyle Larson. That's at 108.6. And he's done a lot of his damage this year, obviously. His 2 wins on road courses have come this season. In 12 starts, he has the 2 wins, 4 top 5s, 7 top 10s, and an average finish of 10.75. And, of course, he's in the best equipment he's had his entire career, especially during this span, driving for Hendrick Motorsports this year. Other drivers with solid average finishes, Denny Hamlin, 9.79. Kurt Busch, 10.07. Alex Bowman, 11.64. Ryan Blaney, 12.64. Kevin Harvick, 12.79. Eric Jones, 14.43. But Eric Jones has seen a decline in his equipment, obviously. And AJ Allmendinger's only run 7 of the 14 road course races at the Cup level since the start of 2018. But obviously, average finish of 14.57. He's driving the number 16 for Colleague this weekend, and he won in that car at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway road course in the race where the curb came apart, and there's no other way to remember it. Any other names you wanted to discuss as far as their road course tendencies? I do have one I just kind of want to ask you about and kind of get a sense of your pulse on him, if you will, going into this weekend. But first, any of those you want to discuss as we get set to jump into some DFS too?
No, I think we should just. Was that your lead into me, or I thought you had a question?
I do have a question. I didn't know if you wanted to discuss any other drivers. My question for you: what's your read on Kyle Busch going into this race? Okay, Kyle Busch always has some of the shortest odds to win a race. Not bad on the road courses. I feel like, though, he's almost overrated as a road course driver, and I say that kind of with a question mark. So the last 14 races, there are a lot of guys that have a better average finish than him. He's just 16.71. He hasn't won any of them. 6 top 5s, that's solid, but 7 top 10s. Almost seems like it's all or nothing with him. You know, it's either a top 5 or he's not even in the top 10. So obviously Kyle Busch, a very publicly backed driver out there. So people who are making picks and whatnot on this weekend's race might be considering taking him. What's your pulse on him going to the Roval? Just in general.
I'm avoiding him. Okay. He's one of my drivers to avoid. I'll just point that we'll start DFS like this. He's one of my drivers to avoid. I don't like his price. He's got a 33 place average finish. I think he only finished one time at this track. So, and it wasn't a top 10. He has not finished. He doesn't have a top 10 here. So I am avoiding him. Do not put him in your FanDuel lineups. Do not put him in your DraftKings lineups. Do not leave him. Just set him on the bench. Leave him there. As far as okay, we'll do it backwards this week because now I feel like I should do it backwards. Another guy I have avoiding, and this is going to be tough to hear for me. Kyle Larson. Yes, he's been great, but this is a track he has not seen in 2 years. No practice. Not like this is a track. Like the only thing that's going to help him is that Chase Elliott is his teammate. He's going to get the setups like he has. So I don't. It's just, and Kyle Larson has an average finish of 19th here to begin with. If he had a top 10, top 15, sure. But the fact on average, he lost 13 spots because his average finish was 6th to 19th. It's math there. But I don't like Kyle Larson this week. I think he should still advance. But FanDuel-wise, I don't like him this week. Who I do like, I'll start with the value play this week, Daniel Suarez. We've been back and forth on him multiple times on him in the road courses. This week, I do like him because he's very cheap, $4,500 in comparison to a lot of other guys. Wow, Suarez is a guy who should definitely outperform that $4,500 mark as long as his equipment stays fine. If he doesn't have any mechanical problems, he should be good. As long as everything good. Another guy who's underrated in FanDuel this week, Ryan Blaney, 8,000, which I saw that and I was like, how? Huh. I just a guy who's won here has an average finish of 4.7, and you're putting him that low. Go ahead.
I mean, there's a lot for me to unpack here. So the Kyle Busch thing is funny, right? So I was reading the Roval average finishes, and he's not even up there, so I didn't even consider him. I was reading off his road course stats over the last 3 years. I had to scroll down the page to find him on the Roval board. Like you said, 33rd average finish. He's been 30th or worse in all 3 races so far. That's insane. So I guess there's Zach's pulse on Kyle Busch, and I guess I would have to agree with it until he shows us something else here.
So this might actually be good for Harvick because you have Harvick 7.7. 7.7 is it? Something around there.
Something like that. It's top 10.
To a 33rd average place finish for Kyle Busch. That's the points there. You give Harvick eighth place to Kyle Busch 33rd. That could be it right there. That could be enough because he's only down 9 points. So Harvick does have a chance. Hopefully trends continue. Numbers never lie. Remember that, folks. But back to the DFS. You have to have Chase Elliott in your lineup. He might be the most expensive guy, but you're saving money on Ryan Blaney. You're saving money on Daniel Suarez. You can afford Chase Elliott. As much as I hate to say that.
I don't know how you look any other way, but Elliott, you got to have him in there this week for sure, and really any road course for that matter. Boy, I think by the end of the show, we're going to have you convinced that Harvick's going to advance, and then it's just going to make the heartbreak even worse if he doesn't on Sunday. So, but you know,
I mean, my heart's been broken. Let's see, Florida lost Saturday.
Yeah, that's true.
Lost Tuesday.
It's just going to be a
Harvick on
continuation.
Sunday, yay! Oh my god, like that's just gonna.
No, we're going to convince you by the end of this thing. Kyle Busch, only 9 points to the good. It could happen. Harvick could get in there. The average finishes. The numbers never lie, like Zach said. Going back to Ryan Blaney, though, that is an astonishingly low price for him at $8,000, like you said.
It makes no sense to me.
I think it's a reputation thing, right? Like, people don't really think of Ryan Blaney as a road course racer. But over the last 14 races, he has the 8th best finish among active drivers, average finish, 12.64. He's got the win here at this very track, 5 top 5s, 7 top 10s. Like, he gets it done. It's not super flashy. Is he leading a bunch of laps at the road courses? No. The win, kind of lucked into it, like you talked about there, where Truex got spun around late in that race by Jimmy Johnson, but he got the win. He's consistently putting together solid runs. Ryan Blaney should be just fine to get around here and get you some DFS points. I like that call a lot. You said you're avoiding Kyle Larson, so I think that is interesting. What would you be doing with AJ Allmendinger? He's at $12,000, so he's not cheap. One of the 5 highest priced drivers this week. Interesting to see him priced more expensive than Martin Truex Jr. at $11,500. Of those two, if you were going to look to take kind of, like a second high price guy behind Chase Elliott in your lineup, who would you prefer, do you think?
I gotta take AJ for the simple fact he starts 38th. I feel like he's gonna be able to maneuver his way and make up a lot of spots in a short amount of time. I mean, you saw him at Indy, what he did. He kind of lucked into that because Chase Briscoe absolutely took Hamlin out late in that race on the second and final lap, and then the wind fell right in Allmendinger's laps. So Allmendinger's he's proven he can win here in this equipment. Why not again here on Sunday?
Yeah, absolutely. Colleague Racing should be fine equipment-wise. They're Richard Childress Racing affiliate right now, working with that team. So I'm not worried about him equipment-wise. And like you say, even if he doesn't go out and win the race, right? If Allmendinger starts 38th and finishes top 10, we'll say 8th, just to kind of make the math easy for myself. That is a whole 15 points right there, just in positions gained. So a lot to like there. With him, I would say, shall we jump into some DraftKings betting odds?
Yes.
All righty. Well, surprise, surprise, Zach. Chase Elliott is the Bank of America Roval 400 odds-on favorite, plus 220 to win on Sunday. Teammate Kyle Larson behind him, plus 450. And we got a bit of a drop-off down to Martin Truex Jr., 7-1. And there he is. Kyle Busch is 10-1 to win this race. Those are the 4 drivers with odds 10-1 or shorter. You can talk about this quartet however you wish. Is your pick to win coming out of this quartet? Your official pick to win.
Oh, that's what
I don't know. What do you got for us here on the race favorites?
Yes, the race winner is in that quartet there, and I'm taking the low-hanging fruit again. I don't care. I missed the Colton Herta, which I shouldn't have. But, yeah, we're going to go ahead and say, yeah, the comments, Mickey Mouse Elliott is going to win this race. He's going to make it 3 in a row. Three-peat.
Bank of America Roval 400 three-peat. And how does that make you feel as a person picking Chase Elliott to win?
If he wins money, I won't care. But for who is the wolf? Mickey is M-I-C-K-E-Y. This future reference. Let's spell it right.
M-O-U-S-E. How do you mess that up? As we keep going through the odds here, Denny Hamlin 11-1. William Byron, it's interesting to me to see him at 13-1. Not really known for being a great road course racer. Christopher Bell 15-1. AJ Allmendinger 18-1. Not a bad price there if you're looking for a value play, I would say. Joey Logano 20-1. Ryan Blaney 22-1. Zach, that is a hefty return on a guy who has a win at this track previously. Alex Bowman and Kevin Harvick are 25-1. Kurt Busch 28-1. Speaking of guys who know how to get around a road course. And then we got Ross Chastain at 30-1. I don't know. What are we thinking here from the middle of the pack in terms of betting this week?
There's 2 picks I like, and I only had one coming into this but I talked myself into taking AJ Allmendinger at 18-1. He doesn't seem like a bad pick there. And then you have Ryan Blaney. Again, this seems underrated to me. You have 8,000 DFS. You have 22-1 here. Did they forget what happened in 2018? Granted, he did. We talked about he lucked into it, but a win's a win, no matter how you slice it, dice it, or deal it.
So here's where I'd really come at you with Ryan Blaney. The 14 road course races since the start of 2018 going into this race. We mentioned how he has the win. So he's not winning every race. He's got 5 top 5s, though. So he gets a top 5 finish. What's that? A third of the time? If we'd say, this is the 15th race. 3-1 for a top 5. So even if you don't want to bet Ryan Blaney to win this thing outright, which it is tough to go against Chase Elliott here, definitely, given that it's a road course. 3-1 on a Blaney top 5. I like that a lot.
6-1 for an top 3. I'm not against that.
Yeah.
And you know how much I'm against not picking winners.
Yeah, plus 260 on an Allmendinger top 5 too. So there's money to be made here if you dig into road course stats and do the research. And that's what we're trying to do here as we break down these odds on the show as well. Allmendinger to win, I like it at 18-1. He's just got so far to go. I don't know, and I think I'd be with you. Like the 6-1, that's almost more appealing to me with him too.
Where did he start in Indy? Because it had to have been back there.
It was back there, but then again, if there's not that wreck, if Briscoe doesn't spin Hamlin, he's looking at a top 3. And also, I think that race is a total wild card because if not for the curb, he's like fringe top 10, I'm pretty sure, right?
He started 8th. I'm trying to figure out how the hell he started 8th.
You sure about that?
But I'm looking right at the NASCAR.
They qualified there.
Oh, they qualified, yeah.
Ah.
That makes sense.
So does that throw a wrench in it?
A little bit. But I completely forgot to qualify there because, because
they only qualify in some spots. What are we doing, NASCAR? Sorry, go ahead.
Next year, we're supposed to be getting qualifying back, and only 30 minutes of practice, but you can't make any adjustments. That's allegedly what has been. That's the rumor going around. I think it has said by like Jordan Bianchi and all them. It's going to throw a little bit of a monkey wrench in there because he's got 30 more spots to go. But still a pretty good return, even at 18-1.
Yeah, I'd wonder what his top 10 would be. I just got to find that quick. So you got to lay with 145 on a top 10. I'm not really thrilled about doing that. But we'll keep going here. We'll look at some long shots. Zach Chase Briscoe almost got the job done in Indianapolis on that road course, 35-1. He knows how to get around the roads for sure. Brad K, 40-1. Matt Benedetto, another good solid road racer, 50-1. Tyler Reddick's been doing better at this road course thing. He's 50-1. Michael McDowell knows how to road race, 60-1. Chris Buescher, 80-1. Austin Dillon, 80-1 as well. Then we got your DFS value play. Daniel Suarez at 100-1, along with Eric Almirola and Eric Jones. Cole Custer, 120-1. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and last week's winner, Bubba Wallace, at 130-1. Ryan Preece and Ryan Newman are 150-1. Should I keep going, or do we have enough there for you to have a long shot or two that you are going to go dollar in a dream?
Oh, hold on. You didn't say Cody Ware, who's at 1,000, or is it 10,001? I can't read. It's either 1,001 or
1,000-1.
Yeah, so there we go. There's your.
Sorry, forgot. Yeah.
Give me your dollar, because that's not a bet you want to make. Just Venmo me your dollar in a dream there, because that's be better than just wasting a Cody Ware. If we out of guys you could still bet pretty decently and probably have a chance is Chase Briscoe. I mean, he's got to win here in NXS, so do that with it. Well, as far as dollar in a dream, I have no idea. It's dart throw. You can put Bubba Wallace, Daniel Suarez, Eric Jones, a lot of those guys in dart throw, and it probably wouldn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if we're talking dollar in a dream on, we'll say the cutoff's 50-1 or longer. For me, it's got to be Matt Benedetto at 50 or McDowell at 60. Those are the two guys in terms of road racing. They've proven it. And something about Trackhouse too. Like, I don't want to completely undermine your DFS value play, but Daniel Suarez has had equipment failure and has left 2 or 3 road courses early this year. Now, it was the 2, I'm pretty sure, where it got him the worst were Road America and Circuit of the Americas, which, of course, are new tracks. So I don't know if that played into it, but I'm a little weary of him. So I guess I don't know that I'm a big fan of him as a dollar in a dream in this scenario. But the DFS price, I wholeheartedly agree with you there. It's too low for what he has done on the road courses in the past. So, putting him in a DFS lineup as a value play so you can stack like a Chase Elliott, an MTJ, Denny Hamlin, whatever you want to do with the higher price guys. It's a lot different than picking a long shot here with betting. Let's look at some driver head-to-heads really quickly. Interesting one here for you, Zach. Christopher Bell is minus 140. Now he needs a good finish and or a win as far as his playoff standings are concerned. Laying minus 140 against AJ Allmendinger plus 115. Give me Dinger or give me death is where I'm going here.
Give me the Dinger. He's a road course master.
100% agree. Let's see if I can find another fun one for you quick. Kevin Harvick Kevin Harvick's even money against Alex Bowman, laying minus 120. Alex Bowman hasn't been terrible on the road courses. Kevin Harvick, though, here at the Roval has not been bad either. Average finish-wise at all road courses over the last 14 starts. Bowman 11.64, Harvick 12.79. This is a close matchup. Even money return there. Can I entice you on your boy?
That's tough because Bowman has an average finish of 4.7 here. Harvick to 7 something we said. And SHR's been down as a whole this year. Harvick has had the returns. Maybe you throw one on Bowman here and hope that he gets a win that he needs.
All right. I didn't think you were going to go that direction, but I'm here for it. Let's look at some groups. We'll save Group F. What other group do you want to do this week? Pick a letter.
Let's see.
No looking at the odds.
What?
You can't know the odds. It's a surprise. You're supposed to pick a letter and have them be
All right,
revealed.
we'll go Group C.
Group C, okay. Well, two of the guys in Group C that we just talked about in head-to-head, Alex Bowman is your group favorite, plus 240. Kevin Harvick, plus 260. And then Kurt Busch and Ross Chastain, both Chip Ganassi guys in Group C here. Both of them know how to run on road courses, too. They're plus 290. This is an intriguing group. There's a lot of solid road course racers in that group.
Like I said, you got to double down on Bowman. I don't think it's going to be either of the two non-playoff guys here. I think it's going to be between Bowman and Harvick. And we said Bowman last time. Why not double down?
Honestly, I think I'd be looking at Kurt Busch in this group. Average finish of 9.7 at the Roval in the 3 races, but 2 of them were top 5s. That average finish is skewed a little bit because he had a finish of 20th. Kurt's a better road racer than 20th. I like Kurt Busch at a plus 90 number there. That'd be my lean, I believe. Alrighty, Group F. Oh, man. A little bit of a road course wasteland here, Zach. Eric Almirola, plus 250. Eric Jones, plus 275. Cole Custer, plus 280. Bubba Wallace, maybe a little momentum he's riding from last week at Talladega off that first career win, plus 290. I don't know. Not a whole lot of road racer skill in this group. What would you be leaning?
Give me Bubba. I feel like he's got the momentum. 2311 is probably clicking the best that they've had, they've had all year. So why not the 23 going forward? Adding another car, got to get all the trials and error out now.
There you go. Yeah, that's true. They got good news on the Kurt Busch charter this week too. So we'll see if they can get it done. In terms of the race winning team this Sunday, Hendrick Motorsports, not a big surprise. They're even money for a Hendrick driver to win this race. And considering Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson are the drivers with the 2 shortest odds, you throw in Alex Bowman, who has a top 5 average finish in 3 starts here as well. Not a big surprise on that number. Would you bet Hendrick Motorsports at even money? And behind them, you got Joe Gibbs Racing, plus 230. Team Penske, plus 950. Stuart Haas, 14-1. Chip Ganassi, 17-1. Colleagues, 18-1. I mean, I don't know how much further you want to go down. RCR 35, Wood Brothers 50. Would you bet Hendrick, or would you take a shot on another team at better odds? And if so, what team? That's how I'll phrase it to you.
Why not Penske?
Okay.
Blaney's got the win here before. Logano I feel like he's going to have a great race. Maybe good enough to get into the win. And Keselowski, if you go back to the first edition of this race, he was leading, but didn't break in time, went up into the wall, and ended his day there. So why not any of the Penske boys there?
All right, not bad return at all at plus 950 on Team Penske to be the team of the race winner. I think that's all we got for betting odds of note for the Bank of America Roval 400. Should be a fun one this week on the Charlotte road course and oval. 17 turns of mayhem, playoff elimination race. It's going to be fun, and we'll see. I don't know. Do we get you convinced by the end of the show? Is Kevin Harvick advancing, Zach? Is he going to do it?
We'll see. We'll see on Sunday.
I wanted a yes. I wanted to convinced McAdoo to come back with me with like, yes, he is. But okay, whatever. What else we got?
All right, we need a crackhead ending here. I think we owe it to the fans because we're running long. Okay, ready?
It's a staple of the show at this point. Like, crackhead away.
Yeah, even though no one's asked for it. Okay, subscribe on Apple, follow on Spotify, Google Podcasts, do whatever you have to do on iHeartRadio, Spreaker, wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe on YouTube, Floyd Sports, YouTube, whatever, down there. Link, you know what to do. Follow us on Twitter at Bird Rub Racing. Follow me at TT Mac. Do at Hank Time Henry. Right?
Yes.
Yes, got it right that time. Read our stuff on Floors.org. We have a little NASCAR section. And don't forget, we have our picks, NFL picks. Both of us are on there under NFL picks. One of us is doing better than the other, and one of us lost to the other in Dynasty football. It was a rough week for me.
Yeah, gloated on the show last week, and it didn't work out for you in the end, I'm sorry to say. One other thing I could throw up on there, since, Crackhead's kind of a
By the way, we don't endorse doing drugs. Just throwing that out there. I am completely clean and sober, except I do have a drink every now and then.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you called me. I thought you were calling me a crack. I was like, that's not what we do here.
Wait for it. This is more for you than anyone. This won't go on the audio. New shirt.
Are you?
Flurry Sports. .org.
Oh my God.
Get in there,
Zach. I want to.
We got hoodies. We got shirts. Seattle Kraken, baby.
I need a cut of that merch because that is absolute dog crap that I've been saying crackhead for the past 3 weeks now, and he comes up with this. I need a cut of that. I am talking to brother after the show. That's bullshit.
Bruner's not a NASCAR guy, so he probably has something listening.
He has no idea what we're talking about.
I will back you up on that argument. So if you create, like a 3-way message on Slack or whatever you got to do, and
I'll just add him in the main chat at this point. Who cares?
There you go. Do it. All right. You got anything else for the people?
Stay safe.
It's been 30 episodes of this show, and we are still going. Somehow, we're almost to the end of the season. Holy cow. This has been episode
I don't know
30.
how. We're dumb. How the hell are we doing this stuff still?
I don't know. I really don't. But yeah, this has been episode 30 of Burnt Rubber Racing. We don't know how we're doing it, but we're doing it. We'll talk to you next week. Enjoy the Roval, everyone.